The following program on KROC AM is sponsored and paid for by Meshbesher Spence.
Andrew Davick joins us this morning. Andrew, good to see you.
Good morning to you both.
We are going to talk about dog bites.
Yes, we are.
And,
Why? Why did this topic come up? Somebody at the office suggested it?
No.
You're worried about your dog?
All right, I got up a little late this morning. I was dragging, and the two dogs. We've got two dogs. We got a third dog that currently lives with Grandma because I can't quite handle that.
Oh gosh!
And the dog came running at me, bumped into me, and I didn't fall down, but nearly. I was rushing through the house. And so I was thinking about, well, what are we going to do for a topic today?
Oh, that's
and so
funny.
I thought about the dog bite statute, which is a bit of a misnomer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much broader statute, which includes dog contact, affirmative actions of dogs that cause injury. It's pretty broad.
All right, explain affirmative action.
Yeah, you're going to have to dig into this a little bit for me.
Sounds like somebody, where you can hire a dog.
Yeah, we may have gone way off topic with that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, what essentially what the dog bite statute was created for instances where a dog bites someone, causes injury. There's only two defenses to it. One, if the individual is trespassing, so if you have some burglar who comes through your window and your dog mauls them, you're probably actually okay.
Okay, that's good.
Because that's trespassing. And the second defense you have is if somebody provokes your dog. So if somebody comes and starts to hit your dog with a stick and your dog goes after him, that's provocation. Those are absolute defenses, so you're not going to be held liable.
All right.
But the statute is actually broader than that. You don't actually have to have a bite by your dog.
No.
So, for example, if a dog sees a guy going on a motorcycle past the house and the dog runs at the individual,
Sure.
causing the motorcycle to lose control, even if there's no physical contact, as long as the dog's actions are directed towards that individual, there is potential liability for the homeowner.
Wow.
How about if, there are some dogs that will chase cars?
Yep.
Same thing? If
Yeah.
you're trying to avoid this, the dog that's running up and almost jumping at the passenger window or something like that, and you swerve a little bit, and all of a sudden you hit, whatever, a
Parked
tree
car.
or parked car, something like that.
Yep, there is potential liability there in those circumstances. Again, the question is the conduct of the dog or is the dog's actions directed towards that individual? So, for example, if a dog just runs out onto the road and you swerve to avoid it, you're not going to be liable. But if that dog is, for example, chasing the vehicle or its actions are directed towards that vehicle and you attempt to avoid causing injury to yourself or someone else, the dog owner may be held liable.
When you sat down, you said something about in Minnesota they are. So is Minnesota especially wide in its dog statute?
Yeah, it's a little bit unique in that we have a particular statute. I always call it the dog bite statute, but it's really, like I said, broader
Sure.
than that. And we do have a statutory framework that deals with these claims. Not all states do it. Some states have a general negligence claims. Were you negligent? Did you let your dog out? Did you not warn individuals of the dangerous propensities of your dog? But we actually have a statute that says that you are strictly liable. You don't have to be negligent. You're strictly liable if the dog's actions cause injury to someone, unless you're trespassing or you provoke it.
And you mentioned even if you were coming up to somebody's door and the dog chased the door and kind of leaped at the door and scared you, you stumbled off the stairway and got hurt,
I'll give you an example. When I first started practicing, we had a case of a FedEx delivery man who went up to someone's door, knocked, opened up the first, sort of the screen door.
Sure.
And opened up the screen door, and it was sort of a glass door. So actually, the dog couldn't get to him.
Right.
But the dog came charging at the door. He panicked, fell off the porch, broke his wrist. Under the dog bite statute in Minnesota, you are potentially liable because the affirmative actions of the dog were directed towards you.
Wow.
And he was not trespassing. He had a right to be
Right,
there. He
of
was
course.
delivering a package.
Right.
And he clearly didn't provoke the dog.
Yeah. So, dog owners, be aware.
Be aware. Have good coverage.
Yeah.
Take that puppy to puppy school.
Yep. And
Learn how to behave.
And the one last thing to think about, some insurance companies do not cover certain types of dogs. So it's something to be aware of.
So you get a pit bull.
Yep. Dogs like pit bulls, Akitas, there are some insurance companies that they will not cover. So you have to be very careful about making sure, one, that you inform your insurance company if that's the type of dog that you have, and two, that if you in fact do have that type of dog, whether or not your policy actually does provide you coverage, because you may be out of luck.
That's something I guess I hadn't really thought about.
Me
If you're a homeowner or a renter or whatever, and you can have a dog at that place, and you get a dog, you don't really think about checking with your insurance to making sure that something like that might be covered.
Yeah.
How about the other way around? If your rates might go down if you don't have that dog anymore.
It very well might. If you have a dog that, as I said, there are certain dogs that certain insurance companies perceive to have dangerous propensities, and if you have one of those, your rates may be higher. You may pay more. If you no longer have that dog, you should inform your agent because it may impact your premiums.
See those little bitty dogs that think that they're big dogs, the little yappers?
Those are the ones you got to watch out for.
Those are the ones that should also be covered, because those ones drive me crazy because they will not stop
And that's
yapping.
the dog that's at my mother-in-law's house.
Somebody needs to get a hold of you at Meshbesher Spence. What's the way to do that, Andrew?
You can call us at 1-800-845-1021 or www.meshbesher.com.
And have a leash.
Absolutely.
All right. Not when you go to Meshbesher Spence.
No.
No.